Yo guys, how's it going? Honda here. Today is a very exciting day. Today is finally build day for the 450L. Now these last couple of videos we've been putting a lot of work into getting this bike not only looking great but also performing almost better than new. And yeah, as you guys can see, we have a couple parts behind us, we have parts over there on that table, and then we even have parts over here. So before we actually start building this bike, I'm gonna show you guys a quick little look at some of the parts we have to put on the bike and what we will and won't be using. So over here, first off, I have the front brake, the rear brake, the throttle body with the throttle cables, some of the emission stuff right there, and then our complete wire harness right there. I went ahead and cleaned all that up last night just with some degreaser. Over here we have our Yoshimura exhaust. We did a full restoration on this, even did the new silencer packing, new stickers, everything. Complete restoration on this exhaust system, turned out amazing. We have the engine. We did a full top end rebuild on it. We also put on a new timing chain and verified the valve clearances are well within spec and everything's looking really good. We also did a countershaft seal kit just because we're going to be replacing this sprocket, so I always like to replace that seal in there as well. We still do need to install the new ignition cover gasket because I forgot to order that the initial go around, but I do have that, and then I'm probably just going to install it onto the motor once we have the bike back together. Over here we have our plastics, so I am going to be reusing all the plastics. They're in really good condition except for the front and rear fender. For the front fender I was able to find an Cherubies one, but for the rear fender I had to get a Honda OEM one. There really isn't much aftermarket support for this bike in terms of the plastics. And the reason I had to get a new rear fender is because the previous one had holes drilled into it to account for the little adventure luggage rack it had, which I will not be running anymore. And then the front fender was just looking a little scratched, a little scuffed up, so I wanted to get that replaced, and we were able to find one for a pretty good price. We aren't going to be running the old IMS extended range fuel tank. Obviously we're not going to be running the super heavy stock exhaust, which is super restrictive. We have the skid plate, a TM Design Works skid plate that I will not be using. I will be just running the stock skid plate just because it's a little bit lighter. And then there's that little windscreen right there. We're not going to be running that. And then we also have the front brake disc guard. We're not going to be running that because once we get our Supermoto set up in here, which is actually going to be here in just 2 more days, finally, we won't be able to run that because the Supermoto setup comes with an oversized rotor. We have the radiators, which I cleaned up a little bit, the louvers, all that good stuff to go with those. We'll be reusing those, of course. We have the stock gas tank. Big reason why I'm going back to the stock tank is because it's going to be lighter because it's a little bit lower capacity, and I think it looks pretty trick. Honda put titanium gas tanks on these bikes, and I think they look really cool. Plus, I'm not planning on doing a lot of long trips on this bike, so I really don't mind having a little bit less fuel capacity. And then the rest of this table is just hardware, fasteners, all that good stuff. Now one thing that we also don't have that I do have on order is this headlight fairing. As you can see, to put the wind deflector on, this one had to be drilled out. So I have a new one, it's on order, it's just not here yet. So maybe we'll put a sticker over that in the meantime. And then of course, if you guys haven't seen the restoration video for the frame, swing arm, and the subframe, I highly recommend checking that out. We got those looking honestly better than new. They look really bright. The aluminum's looking really clean. And then one of the biggest reasons why we decided to strip down the bike in the first place is because that chain adjuster, we got those threads fixed up with a Healy coil, and that has been sitting in there for a couple days. The red Loctite is definitely cured by now, so it's all good to go as well. So yeah guys, I'm not going to do any more rambling. Let's get to working on this bike. Now something to keep in mind is building a bike is definitely more time consuming than taking apart a bike. When you're tearing things down, you're just kind of ripping stuff off, undoing bolts. When you're putting things together, you really have to have a lot more attention to detail. Luckily I took a lot of pictures, and we should be good. Of course I have all of this on video as well, so those are 2 things that'll help me a lot. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Let's get started. I think before we start on the frame though, I'm going to assemble some parts onto the swing arm, and then we'll probably get the motor into the frame, and then we'll put the swing arm onto the motor and frame. And yeah, let's just get right to it guys. I'm super excited. For those of you who may be wondering what the little white dots are I'm putting on these parts, I'm basically using a paint marker and putting little dots on the part and the bolt. And this is just to help me visually inspect that the bolt hasn't come loose, little clock marks, just so I can see if the bolt has rotated at all, then I'll know it has gone loose. I do this in key areas that might be a little harder to access, like these foot peg bolts, because they're going to be covered by the foot pegs, and for really important bolts like sprocket bolts, things that if they came loose you'd want to know right away. So you won't see me doing this on a lot of fasteners, just mainly the really important ones that aren't easy to access. Alrighty y'all, so we are at a good place to get the engine back in the frame. All I have is the coolant reservoir, the rear linkage, and the foot peg mounts installed. So let's get this engine put in that frame. It's gonna be a little heavy, but we should be able to get it. So I wanted to note something really quick for the bar setup on this bike. Now this bike, when I bought it, has Pro Taper handlebar clamps on it. I'm familiar with these clamps. They have a more forward facing position or a more rearward position. A lot of dirt bikes come with the similar clamp design nowadays where you can flip the clamps either forward or backward if you want the bar to sit forward towards the forks, towards more in line with the forks, or back, kind of swept back. When I bought this bike, they came with the bar clamps oriented in the rear position, so the bars were swept a little further back. Now I normally on my bikes run them in the forward position, so I swapped it on this bike a little more close to what I'm used to. And then in terms of the angle with the bars, I usually run my bars either very, very slightly swept back to perpendicular, or I'd say parallel with the fork angle, or pretty much even. So on this bike, I'm running them pretty much even with the fork angle, if anything very, very slightly swept back. And that's just normally how I run my bike, so I'm setting this bike up to be similar. Now once this bike is all back together, I'll spend a little more time actually setting up the suspension on my bike, so I will still need to set the sag on the bike. Now here for our fork height, I read online that 5mm is a pretty good baseline to start with and maybe go up from there for Supermoto setup. So for now I have my fork height set at 5mm above the triple clamp, and we're gonna try that out. More than likely I'm not gonna change it from that. I'm usually not too picky about my suspension setup, and I imagine for something like Supermoto where I'm just riding on the road, it's not gonna make a huge difference anyway, at least to how far I can notice it. So for now we're gonna run the 5mm for our fork height. And then for our handlebar position, you guys can see I'm running them pretty much parallel with the forks. That's usually what I run on my dirt bikes. It's probably going to be pretty hard to see because I have both the bars turned on those ones. But yeah, that's normally what I run on my moto bikes. If anything, I even run them very slightly swept back. So I'm going to start neutral for now, and then we'll see if we want to adjust that. I imagine for Supermoto setup though, it's more going to be about comfort more than anything. I'm not going to be taking this thing to any tracks. I'm really just going to be riding it on the street. So again, I flipped the bar clamps to the forward facing position. So now they're going to be a little further forward. I just prefer this. And when I bought the bike, the handlebar clamps were kind of swept really far forward, and to me that makes the handling feel very unstable. The turning feels a little bit unstable when they're swept very far forward like that. So I have a good baseline here. Hopefully this helps out the turning a little bit. And then as you guys saw, I got the steering stem nut torqued down. Right now I'm running for the resistance on the castle nut underneath. I'm running it just tight enough to where the bars don't fully fall over, but it's still a very, very light amount of resistance. You don't want to put too much resistance on the castle nut there. And when you do torque down the steering stem nut, it will put a little bit more preload on that. So right now I'm running just enough resistance to where the bars don't fall over completely on their own, but I can move this with my pinky very, very easily. So not a lot at all. And then of course those bearings are freshly serviced, and in there's the castle nut I'm referring to right there. You have to tighten that down, and then you torque down this nut up here. I'm sure there's a torque spec for the castle nut, but I've never done it that way, and I don't really have the tool or adapter to do that anyway. So I still need to torque down the lower triple clamp pinch bolts, and then we can torque down the upper ones. Now I want to hold off on torquing the upper ones until I get the hand guards installed, because these have a little bit of free play in them, a little bit of movement. So I'd rather get the hand guards installed first, and then we'll torque these down. Now as you guys can see, I've kind of mocked up the rear wheel. Literally no brake hardware or anything on there right now, just kind of have it mocked up. I put the chain adjusters all the way out just to kind of hold the axle in place, keep it from falling or flopping around back and forth. And I only did this because as I was putting on the forks, the bike started to get a little more front end heavy, and I didn't want the bike to obviously fall, so I just threw on the dirt tire for there for now. And you guys can kind of see this thing starting to resemble a motorcycle now. And yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here for tonight. I might button up a couple things here and there. Maybe I'll get the dash at least bolted up to the triple clamps, but I'm probably gonna call it for tonight. We made a lot of progress. As you guys can see, we actually have something that resembles a motorcycle now, which is a huge milestone. And what's taking me so much longer with this bike, a normal dirt bike I could easily get completely built in a day, but there's just so many little wires, so many vacuum lines, all these little things that are required to make this bike EPA compliant, to where you can sell these bikes in California and whatnot. Just so many more wires than the average dirt bike. Of course, a lot of it is because it has a speedometer, it has a dash, it has the turn signals, it has all the road legal lighting. But a lot of it too is also the emissions equipment, which I won't be deleting all of it, but I will be deleting some of it in an upcoming video after we already have the bike running, just so I can make a bit of a comparison video on that. So right now, as the bike sits, all of the engine mounts, so the engine hangers here, the lower mounts, the pivot, and then all of our linkage stuff as well is just barely hand tight. What I want to do is I want to take the bike off the stand, so I'm going to have to get both wheels at least temporarily on there. I want to drop the bike off the stand, compress the suspension a little bit, and then go through and torque everything. On a normal bike that's only going to see dirt, I usually don't take too much time to do that, but because this bike's going to be mainly on the road, it's going to see higher speeds and whatnot, if we can get the chassis to just settle in its place a little bit with the bike on its own weight before we torque the fasteners, that would just be a little bit more ideal. So yeah, that's something I'm gonna do tomorrow. And I still do need to replace the ignition cover gasket as well. If you guys remember, I had to just temporarily put the old one back on there, so we need to replace that probably once the bike's done and once we're finishing up. So here I'm gonna get the dash at least bolted up just so we don't have to leave all these wires hanging overnight. And then yeah, we'll probably call it there. Let's get the dash bolted up. All right, and this is where we are going to call it for tonight. Overall, we made a ton of progress today. We actually have a motorcycle behind me again, and honestly, this is probably the most time-consuming part of it, is the wiring. So we got a majority of that stuff done. I'd say we're 95% there with the wiring. I will say the dash is going to take a little bit just because there's a lot of wiring right there to be bundled up in one small space. And I'm really trying my best to keep the routing for all the wiring OEM. So yeah, really just trying to do a good job. I want this bike to look factory fresh when we're done, at least as close as we can get to a 6-year-old bike. And yeah, made a ton of progress today. Gonna continue this tomorrow probably. And yeah, probably gonna be able to get it 99% done tomorrow, actually get a riding bike. We won't have the Supermoto wheels more than likely, but those should be coming in 2 days. And yeah, really looking forward to that. That's gonna be a huge step in the build, obviously. But yeah, this is where we're gonna cap it off for tonight. A little bit tired, been working on this bike all day. Overall, really productive. We made a ton of progress and this thing's gonna be sick. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe so you guys don't miss any upcoming build videos. Even when we're done actually building the bike, there's gonna be a couple more upgrades I'm gonna do as we go. So you guys don't wanna miss out on those. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.